Alright, so I'm back, and once I got a chance to stand back and look at this drawing, not being in your way, I realized was wrong. I went in, you can see, I think you can see, I put this line here, and now this will just, because it was way too fat, I had to decide which shoulder was correct. I decided it was this one. This now can just become part of that cast shadow back there, so that works well. Now the bottom here, I went back to the original drawing, and you can see I made this one a little fatter when I blew it up, but I'm not worried about that. What I'm mostly worried about is I did this wrong. So I went back to my original drawing and went, oh, I got way too much happening down here. So I cut it in, and you can see where I pulled a couple of lines, and I think I've decided the line that works the best for this drawing is probably going to be this one. So I'm going to put that line into that body of shadow. And now I modified this, so I put it into there. I modified this, so I put it into that black. So I had to do some modifications, but it just can be merged into the dark and lights. Okay? Let's try to get this drawing finished now. I'm happy with the problems I was fixing the problems I had. So now we can move on. And where is the one in my hair? Okay, it's there in my hair. Alright, so now I want to really erase. Where's my good eraser? Here it is. We're going to get in here now, and we're going to get in, and we're going to bring the light back into the body of this white lamp. Okay? So we're going to drag this in. I'm trying to stay out of your way. Notice I'm moving back in to the picture plane. I have to remember to draw from the side here. Alright. There we go. That's better. That can happen there. I want a beautiful lost found contour edge here. So I want it light, heavier, heavier. So it's got to be darker up down here, darker up here as it fades under that box, which we haven't even started yet, so we'll worry about that in a minute. So let's get that in there, and I want this to get lighter here. So let's just drag it in. I want this shoulder to be created by the dark back there more, and I want a very lightness right there. So I'm going to go back in again and start to remove that. Okay. Alright, much better. I've got my lights back. Now I've got to negotiate them in and make sure they work and that they do what I want them to do. And then we got to quickly get moving. I'm using the side of my hand or the bottom of my palm, which is not as dirty as the flat, so that I can just get it to smudge a little. And if I made it too dark, I'll erase again. Okay. Also, this is where shirts come in handy. I know. People are like, oh, don't do that, but it does. This is where they come in pretty nice. And the charcoal comes off in the wash. Don't do it with a white shirt. Never wear white when you're trying to draw charcoal anyway. When you come to help sessions, wear old clothes, wear gray, black. Black's a good color because, you know, no one sees it on there unless you smudge up against something. Alright, there we go. I want some lights here. There's some beautiful drama happening there. Alright, good. I'm happier with that. Alright, excellent. Now, this is too bright. Too dark. Alright, there's an incredibly bright light right there. And this is where this might just come in right here. Okay. For now, we'll be happy with that, and then we'll move on. Alright, happy with this now. Now we gotta play with this. I was working on it and I totally messed it up because I had my shape wrong. So let's get back in there and fix it. I have these beautiful kind of hubbing lights happening here. They hub here and then it goes this way. So this is dark. Yes. This is dark. And this is dark. This is a little bit dark here. Not bad. There is some light going on. Believe it or not, there's a beautiful light like we had with that bounced light on our eggs. There's some beautiful bounced light back here into the floor pattern, which comes into the pattern of the wood. There we are. We've got it. I want to bring that in just subtly. And this is where we're drawing with our eraser again. We've got enough charcoal. Now we just have to make sure we negotiate that charcoal to do what we want. Soften that and move on. Now I need this to be a little darker than that, but not real dark. Yeah, happy with that. This one is a little darker as well over here. And this is too. This is the one that's pretty bright. Its edges are softer. And I might leave that. I like that inconsistency right there. I think it's quite beautiful actually. So I may just leave that as part of it because I've got some, it's an old lamp and it's got some tarnish and some just natural dirty crappiness to it. Alright, let's go here. Let's get this back into a half circle shape. There we are. Get a tight edge on that, like that. Get that down happening. We've still got some wood grain coming through. We want to make sure we keep bringing that in. When it gets smudged out, we bring it back. I think that's good. I'm going to step back. Alright, I'm way happier with that now. So good. We may end up putting white into the body of this if we have time, but we might not. Now we're going to go into the checked lampshade. I've got my straight edge, and the only thing I did differently on this straight edge is I have my straight edge to use. But I cut out for myself 2 sizes of squares because these are all based off of squares. And once I get in there, I'm going to smudge it all up. So I did a bigger square and a slightly smaller square for the smaller side. And again, you're still going to not want a perfect square, but you might want the ability to pull back some squares if you need to, and you might be able to just put some white in if it actually works well. Okay. So I want to shade that, keep my squares happening if I can, maybe even control them a little bit more. With that, I need this to be a nice dark sharp edge because it's the thickness of the lampshade itself, and it is creating a really dark contrast from the extremely dark to this nice light that we have going on right here. So we may actually decide with the contrast that we want it a little more contrasty. Alright, there we go. Alright, now let's go in here and do it again. I'm just using the thickness of my finger as the thickness of the pattern. I've got enough charcoal. I probably don't need to put much more charcoal on it. I might end up having to erase. But I do need a tone because it's darker in here. Actually, that's working nicely. And it's much brighter up here where the light bulb actually is. So up there we might want to erase. Okay, let's see if I can get this to behave now. So tools are good, useful elements. There's no such thing as cheating in drawing. A tool, you know, your hands are tools. The oldest tools, natural tools. Your drawing utensils are ancient.
You can't have somebody else draw.
You can't have someone else draw. But all kinds of tools will work for you, and use them, you know, and straight edges work. If you're having trouble with half circles or getting circles to be perfect, use a bowl, use a pan. In a drawing, it's very hard because the ellipses are going to make it an ellipse, and there's no way you're going to get the bowl to turn into an ellipse. But if you need a perfect circle for something and you can't get it to work, a round object. You can find in the art supply stores, there are these pre-cut designs for simple shapes like squares, circles, ellipses, triangles, diamonds, and those are for designers, and they're there, and they sell them. They sell them in Michaels. They sell them in Miller Art Supply, and it's very commonly used to keep a nice sharp edge of a shape, like a stencil, but they're patterned packages of stencils. Alright, now on this we're starting to take on a little perspective, so you have to have it slightly wider here and hopefully slightly narrower and possibly a little bit lighter as it goes into that background. First, I'm trying to stay out of your way. Don't forget to talk. Okay. So I'm still working this pattern, which is, because I chose a pattern lamp, it's the more tedious part. I like pattern. If you don't like pattern, don't choose a tedious lamp. With pattern. I originally had a different lamp. My favorite lamp is a tall black lamp with flowers, but because I can't turn this damn thing and get it to work, with videotaping, I went with the fat one, and I didn't even remember that it had a little checkered lampshade. So I tend to have a lot of pattern around and forget that I have this much pattern around. Okay, so again, make it work. Anything it needs to make it work. You're not going to see a perfect pattern, especially here where it's merging to this dark ground. So I'm going to, at some point, let it just merge. I'm going to lighten this here, only because, again, it's going away in space, and it's lightening up, and it's becoming less defined for the viewer. sharper here, less defined there. And I'm going to step back to see what I have. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I could end here, but I have some time, so let's really play with this. We're doing a little bit of shading within these cube patterns if I can. 13 minutes. 13, okay. So I want to actually, before we go any further, I'm happy with that original edge there. So I want to get that to become part of the background, if I can. Yes, we got it. I want to make sure I have a nice sharp edge here. Again, I'm using my new toy I found. Alright, I like that. That works. Now let's see. On the bottom of this, you have, I want to see if this will actually apply charcoal as well as remove it. Let's see, I'm going to dirty a whole section of this. There we go. Maybe even take that off there. It's supposed to be for cleaning. Alright, we have a darkening. Oh yeah, there we go. We're going to put some, oh yeah, I like that. We're going to shade in down here. It's not going to be so perfectly bright white down here and up here. Up top though, we're probably going to remove because we want brighter up there, darker down here. We don't want to destroy that, so we want to be very careful. This is where my my test idea might come in handy. Oh yeah, it's going to be kind of tedious, but it might work. Where I put it over and I can shade and not damage what I've already shaded. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I made myself a little window to work in. This side is going to be a bit darker even, so let's get in there and just not make it so perfectly clean. I need a little more charcoal, and I just dropped it. This is where my finger might come in and work better. Oh yeah. These are not showing up as well as I thought they were on this side. Can you fix that? That's good. Alright, now, what I want to do is get in here, shade these just a little bit again. Just a little bit, not a lot. And now I want to go in with an eraser. Where is my eraser? In my hair. Good. My pencil is in my hair, so I can use this eraser. Now on these, I just want the whole thing much brighter. I want to get in there and indicate there's less charcoal in there. Just at these top ones, and we'll step back to see if this idea even works. You never know until you try it, and it may not actually work. We'll see. But I think it will. Alright. I want this one a little fuzzier on the edges. A hub of light right there where the light bulb is. This again, remember, is the tape, so we can just merge it. We don't have to worry about it. Alright. Clean that up. Alright, I'm going to step back now and think that I've got what I want as best I can with that lampshade. Oh, I'm kind of happy with that lampshade. Good. Now what it needs, now you step back and we could be done, but we could also just say, what does it really need? What does this drawing need to make it like go woo and stand out just a little bit more? I think personally, I need to define this back here just a little bit more. I think it's okay if it gets a little darker because it's behind. That's good. I like it a little darker. Push that back. I want to push this back too, just a little more. Not a lot. Just a tad bit more. There you go. Just get it back there. I like that. Alright, so now...
You're down to 8 minutes.
Yeah, I'm almost done. I want to darken this too. That little corner is going to indicate that's lighter, that's darker. And the last thing I think I want to do is I think I want to go back to this triangle of light, which I'm not yet totally happy with, and see if I can get that to behave a little better. I'm going to try my little eraser that goes on top of my pencil. I dropped my pencil, but I don't need it. And I'm going to try to see if that will help me remove differently than when out the bigger erasers, because it's kind of small. I still want the pattern that we've suggested in here of the wood grain. We kind of lost it here. We can start to bring it back a little bit more just by shading it in there, shading it in here. But I want this to get less, I guess, less squarish and more like a light that stops. And I don't feel I have achieved that yet. So I'm going to try hitting the edge real hard and then softening it out. Hitting the edge real hard and then softening it out if I can. Maybe that will do what I'm looking for here. Okay. It's a little better. Alright. So I think I'm pretty happy with this drawing. I'm going to probably call this a day. And so checkered lamp, checkered what's that called? Lampshade on a white lamp on a wood ground table. I hope that you enjoy drawing this drawing. However you set yours up. Less pattern if you want, that's fine. Let me know. Send me emails, send me images, especially if you have any issues, and I'll see you during the help sessions. Thank you.